You know, sometimes I wonder when the last time was that you saw snowbanks taller than you. If you're over 50, you probably don't even need to think about it. You lived through the real winters, the ones that shaped this country, the ones we barely see anymore. Back then, the cold was so sharp, your breath froze the moment you stepped outside. Snow fell so heavy overnight, it could swallow an entire car. And by morning, your dad was out there digging tunnels just to reach the street. And the funny thing is, no one thought it was a big deal. Schools didn't close, people didn't complain. It was just January. And that was Canada. Picture this. It's January 1972 in Winnipeg. You wake up before the sun, and the first thing you notice isn't the light, it's the silence. That thick, heavy quiet that only happens after snow has been falling all night. You look toward the window, but you can't see through it. Not because of curtains, but because frost has covered the entire inside of the glass, painting it with white feathers and frozen ferns. In the kitchen, your mother is already up, standing by the wood stove in 2 sweaters, waiting for the kettle to boil. It's the only warm room in the house. If the fire goes out, the pipes freeze. Your father, he sets an alarm for 2 in the morning every night, just to add more wood to the stove. And on the radio, through the static, you hear, another 30 centimeters by noon, wind chills near 40 below. But school? School is still open, of course. You start getting dressed right beside the wood stove because it's the only warm spot in the whole house. First, the long underwear that always itches. Then your regular pants, then the snow pants, 2 sweaters, and finally that heavy parka that smells like wet wool and wood smoke. Your mom wraps a scarf around your face until only your eyes are showing. By the time you're done, you can barely move your arms. Then you step outside, and the cold hits you like a wall. It steals your breath. Your throat burns when you breathe in, and within seconds, your eyelashes freeze. At the end of the driveway, the snowbank is taller than your dad. He's been out there since 5:30 in the morning, shoveling non-stop, tossing snow over his shoulder because there's nowhere left to put it. His mustache is covered in icicles, but you don't complain. You don't even think to. You just put your head down and start walking into the winter. And the road you're about to walk, kids today would never believe it. The neighborhood barely looks like itself. Street signs are gone under the snow. Cars parked along the curb are just white lumps. You couldn't tell a Chevrolet from a Ford if your life depended on it. The snowplow has carved a narrow path down the street, a kind of snow canyon with walls rising 6 feet high on both sides. So you and the other kids walk single file, following the trail someone broke earlier that morning. Every step makes that sharp squeaking sound, the sound snow only makes when it's brutally, painfully cold. Your breath freezes hard on your scarf, building up until it becomes this stiff plate of ice across your mouth. But you don't take it off. You just keep walking. Because to you, this isn't strange. This isn't extreme. This is simply a winter morning in Canada. What really made the cold bearable wasn't the clothing. It was the people walking with you. As you made your way through the neighborhood, more kids joined in. The Henderson twins at Elm, the Lavoie kids a block later, and before long, there were 15 of you, a little parade of puffy coats marching through the snow. If someone's scarf came loose, everyone stopped so it could be tied again. If someone fell into a drift up to their waist, the rest pulled them out and laughed about it the whole way. No one told you to help each other. You just did. Because that's what Canadian kids did back then. You faced the winter together. Then you reached the school, and chaos hit you the moment you walked inside. 40 kids crammed into the cloakroom, peeling off frozen layers, snow dropping off boots, puddles forming everywhere. The radiators were stacked with mittens and scarves, all steaming and dripping as the heat hit them. And the whole place smelled like wet wool, rubber boots, and childhood. Inside the classroom, everything felt almost too warm. The radiators hissed and clanged beneath the windows, and within minutes, the glass fogged over completely. Someone would always reach out and draw a little face in the condensation, a small reminder that even in the coldest winters, kids still found ways to play. For a moment, you felt grateful to be inside, wrapped in heat, surrounded by friends, watching the white world blur softly through the fogged glass. but it never lasted long. When recess came, the teachers sent everyone back outside. Fresh air, they said, as if breathing air that stung your lungs was somehow good for you. And yet, you didn't mind. Because you and your friends had been working on something special. A snow fort at the edge of the schoolyard. Not just a pile of snow, but a real fort with walls, tunnels, and a little room in the middle where you planned your snowball battles. It wasn't a game on a screen. It was something you built with your own frozen hands, something you protected, something you improved day after day. And when spring finally came and that fort melted away, you didn't just watch snow disappear. You felt a quiet sadness, as if a small piece of your winter childhood had slipped gently out of your hands. When school ended for the day, you stepped back out into the cold, and it felt even sharper than before. It was only 3:30, but the sun was already starting to sink, turning the sky that deep blue-purple color you only ever see in a Canadian winter. With every step you took, the snow squeaked louder, that sound it makes when the temperature drops fast. The streetlights flicked on one by one, casting warm orange circles on the white snow. Your breath rose in thick clouds, and before long your eyelashes froze again. On the walk home, you passed Mr. Dubois shoveling in front of his little corner store for the third time that day. He looked up and waved, and you waved right back, because that's just what people did. All along the neighborhood, you could smell wood smoke drifting from chimneys. It mixed with the cold air in a way that told you, without a doubt, winter was fully here. And finally, you saw your house. Smoke curling from the chimney, windows glowing warm and yellow. You stepped inside, and the heat hit you like a hug. Your glasses fogged instantly, but you didn't care, because you could already smell the beef stew on the stove and the fresh bread cooling on the counter. A perfect ending to another winter day.
You know, the funny thing is, those winters didn't just test you, they shaped you. They taught you what real resilience looked like, long before anyone started using that word. They taught you that comfort isn't something you just have, it's something you work for. And they taught you how to be Canadian. If your neighbor's car wouldn't start at 40 below, you went over and helped. If the power went out, you checked on the older couple down the street. If the roads were closed, everyone shared whatever they had. Those winters reminded you that nature doesn't care about your plans. A blizzard doesn't wait for a convenient moment. So you learn to prepare. You learn to adapt. You learn to respect the cold. Really respect it. But then things started changing. Snow came later. The deep cold didn't stick around the way it used to. A week of -30, something totally normal in 1972, suddenly became breaking news. Kids born in the 90s grew up in a different Canada. When you tell them about walking to school in snowbanks taller than you, or wind chills that froze your eyelashes in seconds, they smile. But you can tell they think you're exaggerating. But you're not. You're just remembering the winters that made you who you are. Winters that taught people how to endure, how to help each other, and how to get through the season together. Even though those winters are gone now, you still carry them with you, in little habits you don't even think about. You dress warmer than you probably need to, because your body remembers what real cold feels like. You check on your neighbors during storms, because you know how important that used to be. And no matter what the weather forecast says, you never quite trust it. You keep extra blankets in the trunk of your car. You keep your pantry stocked. You still know how to build a fire, even if you haven't had to light one in years. These things aren't about fear. They're memories. Memories of a time when winter wasn't just something you lived through alone, but something everyone faced together. Those winters made you Canadian in a way that's hard to explain to someone who didn't grow up with them. It's a quiet kind of strength, a calm kind of readiness, and this simple understanding that stayed with you your whole life. We'll be okay, because we look out for each other. And then one day, you realize something. Those winters, the ones you thought were gone, they're still with you. Not in the weather, but in you. In the way you pause before snowfall, feeling that familiar mix of wonder and respect. In the way you reach for an extra blanket without even thinking. In the quiet comfort you feel when the wind howls outside, because you've heard it all your life and you know you're safe.
You lived through a Canada that's hard to explain now. A Canada where snow didn't just cover the ground, it shaped the people who walked on it. Where the cold didn't push you indoors, it brought you closer together. Where winter wasn't something you avoided, but something you faced, side by side. And even though the seasons are warmer now, and the storms don't seem as fierce, a part of you still remembers coming home with frozen cheeks and stiff eyelashes, opening the door to a warm yellow light, and knowing, without a doubt, that inside, there was safety and love and family. If you lived through those winters, you carry them with you forever. Not as a burden, but as a gift. A quiet reminder that you are stronger than you think, and that no matter how cold the world gets, you never go through winter alone.